Looking for a place to get away from it all, commune with nature, hunt a mythological creature of lore, bury something you don't want found? Well, then you've come to the right place, because I am the ghost tourist, and these are the New Jersey Pine Barrens.
In this video, we'll journey into the depths of the forest, through ghost towns, swamplands, and my childhood backyard, to follow in the hoof prints of the notorious Jersey Devil.
Get your bug spray ready.
Where in the world are you hiding, my dear, my dear? I caught a glimpse of something very weird. A ghost I fear is near me, dear. A ghost has slipped into my world, my world.
The New Jersey Pine Barrens is an ancient forest comprising over 1 million acres of pygmy pines, pin oaks, white cedar, and thorny greenbrier.
Ribbons of tidal water connect to rivers and streams. Paths of sugar sand covered in fallen pine needles lead to wetlands, cranberry bogs, and ghost towns. The region has 4 state forests, and because it's so sparsely populated, it has a reputation as a backwater inhabited by rural, unfriendly folk, ungraciously dubbed Pineys.
So most of the people think of the New Jersey Pinelands as being not just a wilderness, but on the fringe of reality, a kind of place where madmen and crazy people are.
But there's beauty to be found here. Rare plants and orchids, species of frogs and salamanders that only exist here in this one location on the entire planet. And yet, perhaps there are other, more deadly creatures to be found after dark.
In the quiet of the Pinelands, you can hear some strange things at nighttime. Sounds like horrific screeching in the distance, or the sound of an animal eating, or even worse, large leather wings flapping right over your head. The New Jersey Pinelands is home to miles of pine trees and sandy roads, but it's also the home of New Jersey's most infamous resident, the Jersey Devil. Designated in 1938 as the country's only official state demon, the New Jersey Devil is described as a monstrous creature.
With the face of a horse and the head of a goat, with gnarled, protruding antlers, humongous bat-like wings, blazing red eyes, sharp claws, cloven hooves, and a serpentine, forked tail. It's said to have a shrill, spine-tingling call like a screech owl and possess a near-human intelligence. For nearly 300 years, this mysterious creature has been said to prowl through the marshes of southern New Jersey and emerge periodically to rampage through the towns and farms, and also perhaps to foretell catastrophe. The creature has been featured in print, movies, television, comic books, and of course as a mascot for a popular NHL team.
It's even occasionally been spotted flying over the Garden State Parkway.
So, the New Jersey Devil, fact or fiction?
Hey, are you liking the video? Remember to hit subscribe.
You can also find me on Patreon. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my supporters.
I hope you enjoyed this sweet Ghost Tourist mugs. And if you'd like one, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. Now, back to the video.
What'd you buy there?
Got a sweet Jersey Devil air freshener and check it out.
Nice.
This is the historic Smithville village. Perched between the Pine Barrens and the bay, this town used to be the last stagecoach stop before you hit Atlantic City. And Smithville is where I grew up.
Its main tourist draw is the historical Smithville Village, a shopping center filled with antiques, quirky lawn art, Jersey Devil-themed souvenirs, delicious baked goods, home goods, and seasonal decor, all sold from colonial period buildings surrounding a duck pond. And yes, we did have frequent duck-related traffic jams. I highly recommend you never go monster hunting on an empty stomach. I've got a few friends joining me on this trip, so let's go meet our gang of monster hunters.
Hey, my name is Chris Vendetti. I also grew up in New Jersey, but North Jersey, not South Jersey, very different place. So as far as the Jersey Devil goes, I went to a few Devils games, but I never got to hunt the Jersey Devil. It was a little far for us, to just go on a Saturday night, go devil hunting. Plus, not really a woods guy, more of a city guy.
Hey, I'm Liz. I'm from New York, not New Jersey, so I actually don't really know much about the Jersey Devil except for what I saw in that X-Files episode, which I'm told was shot in Vancouver and not at all accurate. So I'm here to learn.
Hi, I'm Brett. I'm born and raised in New Jersey, North Jersey, not South Jersey like the ghost tourist. I'm part human, not swamp person. So the Pine Barrens were known for dead bodies and the Jersey Devil.
Like Sopranos style.
Full-on mafia, Jimmy Hoffa, dead bodies, and the Jersey Devil.
The Pine Barrens, just growing up in North Jersey, I knew that it was a large wooded area I did not want to visit. I knew that there was a very famous Sopranos episode named the Pine Barrens, and that the Jersey Devil lived there. There's some child that was born disfigured and they abandoned, and all these crazy stories about it.
I remember when I was a kid, family road trips down to South Jersey, that we'd be looking out the window trying to find the Jersey Devil. Always came up empty-handed.
You excited to see the birthplace?
I am excited to see the birthplace, as long as, again, I'm not a woods guy, so as long as we don't go too deep into the heart of the woods, but yeah, I'm gonna go into the woods at night tonight. It's running my horizons, a new thing for me. Don't really do that, so yeah, it'll be good, it'll be fun.
If you pass the Smithville Village and head down Moss Mill Road toward the bay, you'll find yourself in Leeds Point. It's here where many claim the Jersey Devil was born, the 13th child of Mother Leeds. So a lot of people think that's the Leeds Devil house there, but it's not. That house isn't old enough. The original structure is just a ruin now. It's an old foundation way back out in the woods. And unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly where I am.
It's a private driveway, it's private land, there's signs posted everywhere. They do not like people trespassing, so unfortunately, unless you get permission, you can't get back to the old house foundation. But the path is also like in the brambles, like you're going through all that greenbrier and thorns. I did it when I was a kid in high school, not really wanting to do it as an adult, but this is the trailhead right there that goes back into the woods to the old Leeds house foundation where the Jersey Devil was born.
So we're just taking a couple quick steps along the path here to show you what it's like. As I mentioned, just thorns everywhere. Really unpleasant path to walk down. Dude, what is that? That's not ominous at all. Well, that's fun. So, how's the Leeds family connected to the Jersey Devil?
The story begins in 1735 when Mother Leeds became pregnant with her 13th child. And understandably, being fed up having so many children, she exclaimed that she'd give this one to the devil. So be careful what you wish for, because apparently when the baby was born, it sprouted wings and a tail and horns, and it flew out the window and into the pines.
Of course, there are multiple iterations of the story. Some include the monster eating the entire family. Some call Mother Leeds a witch, and the devil himself the father. Modern sources suggest perhaps the baby was malformed, but the religious order of the time believed such births were a punishment from God, and thus proof of a woman's wickedness.
All right, so I'm trying to fly the drone over these treetops and find some evidence of the foundation of the house, but I'm not really having any luck finding it.
So let me show you an example of exactly what we're looking for. This house foundation once belonged to the Collins family, and there's also an old cemetery attached.
They would have been contemporaries of the Leeds family. We're about 2 miles up Moss Mill Road from where Leeds Point is. And it's just this old, forgotten family cemetery and an abandoned house foundation. I used to come here when I was a little kid and explore the woods. I don't even think the people that live in Smithville know this place exists unless you live right next door to it like I did. But since the Leeds property is private, this is just sort of representative of what the foundation would be like nowadays.
And what we're trying to find using the drone.
Oh, is that it? There?
I don't think so. Those look like fallen logs.
So let's pause for a moment and get acquainted with the Leeds family. The founders of this little town were Quakers who immigrated to the area from England around 1678, originally residing in Burlington. Daniel Leeds, the patriarch, became Surveyor General of West Jersey and used his position to acquire a large amount of land in the Great Egg Harbor area, including Leeds Point. Daniel Leeds is notable as the first resident of New Jersey to publish written work, and for a time, the Leeds Almanac rivaled the pursuits of a young Ben Franklin. More on that later. Daniel's grandson, Jeremiah Leeds, a Revolutionary War veteran, was the first to acquire the title to Absecon Island just across the bay. You may know it today as Atlantic City, and its first mayor was his son, Chalky Leeds.
And the family still lives in the area to this day. I went to high school with some of them.
So, how did the Leeds family get connected to the devil? It's an interesting question, and we'll circle back to that later in the video, but for now, let's follow the legend. So, it's 1735, and the monster is born. But then, the odd thing is that the devil goes completely unheard of or seen for over 100 years.
My name is Tim Hart. I'm the Ocean County historian, and I'm privileged to be part of the folk life of South Jersey, and the Jersey Devil is certainly among the most interesting and I'll say creative stories, because how do you separate the fact from the legend? But there are two gentlemen, two professors from Kane University, Brian Regal and Frank Esposito, and they've written this very interesting book.
So upon Tim's recommendation, I read this entire book, and I learned so much I never knew about the history of the New Jersey Devil. It's commonly thought that reports of the Jersey Devil go back to the colonial era, including an unsubstantiated journal entry from 1790 by a man named Vance Larner, who writes, "It was neither beast, nor man, nor spirit, but a hellish brew of all three. It was dashing to and fro in the pond and rubbing its horns against a tree trunk. It was as large as a moose, with leather wings." The earliest known mention in print comes in 1859, dubbing the creature the Leeds Devil. Then, by the early 1900s, the myth exploded in popularity, with newspapers reporting dozens of sightings describing the devil's escapades, raiding chicken coops and farms, destroying crops, killing animals, and leaving those signature hoof prints behind, sometimes on snowy rooftops. His presence has been reported in at least 50 towns throughout southern New Jersey by such reliable sources as police and government officials. And in one famous instance, the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte claimed to have shot it on a hunting trip.
It's helpful to remember that the 19th century was really different from today. Humans had just begun to dig monsters out of the earth. We call them dinosaurs today. America was full of reports of bizarre creatures. We didn't yet completely grasp the concept of extinction, and add to that fact that the news had no rules. So they basically reported whatever wild, salacious stories would get them the most readers.
Add to this mix men like P.T. Barnum, who showcased many oddities that were undeniable, pure hoaxes. And you have the perfect stage set for the Jersey Devil to step into the spotlight. In 1909, a live Jersey Devil went on display at the 9th and Arch Street Dime Museum in Philadelphia.
And so, in fact, the creature that's on display is a kangaroo with sewn wings on its back. And they have a child, why it has to be a child, I don't know, has a stick with a nail on the end, and they stick the kangaroo and then it becomes very active and scares the people. He makes a fabulous amount of money doing this.
Either despite or because of this hoax, a widespread Jersey Devil panic began in 1909. There were dozens of sightings. People stayed indoors after dark. Hunting parties were organized. Bounties were offered as high as $100,000 to catch the monster, dead or alive. Some theorists posited that the monster was prehistoric, trapped beneath the earth in a submerged limestone cave, and then released during an earthquake.
However, the elusive creature has never been caught to this day, but many believe that it might still be alive, making its home in the 1 million+ acres of the Pine Barrens.
So we're just doing a little scout on the path here. We're going to come back tonight and look for the Jersey Devil.
Stopping to smell the pines.
This is a public path. It's in a protected wetlands area about 2 miles away from Leeds Point. So we're still, right in the epicenter of all the Jersey Devil activity. So we're going to come back after dark. We're going to get Chris out here in the woods after dark. And we're going to see if we can find a monster.
Gotta check out the pin. The Jersey Devil believes in you.
This is the historic Oyster Creek Inn, located on the waterfront in Leeds Point. Originally a fish market and oyster shucking house, the building itself is over a century old, officially becoming a restaurant after World War II.
This guy's got kind of an alligator body.
And I have come to eat here with my family for my entire life. Let's go eat some seafood. Someone totally needs to order this drink in honor of the episode.
Katie's gonna be drunk. You're gonna have to find our way out of the woods.
Yeah, yes.
Should I get the drone?
Yeah, just drone across. Crab cakes.
I see the Jersey Devil is here, guarding over the entranceway to the bathroom. How appropriate. All right, it is full dark now. Is everyone excited to go back into the woods?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it excited. I mean, you're lucky that we're your friends and we're very nice friends that we do this for you, but definitely wouldn't call it excited. It'll be interesting. It'll be an experience. And, we had a good dinner, bellies are full, and, there you go.
Harder to run away.
Harder to run away. That's actually true. It's harder to run away. And I think I can still run. I'll run. I didn't eat that much.
Well, yeah. This is like your worst fear, Chris.
We're out here in the pitch black night. You love a nice night stroll?
Yeah, I love wandering through the woods late at night.
We're gonna see if we can hear that famous Jersey Devil cry in the night. So we're gonna give a listen and see if we hear anything unnatural out there.
Want to take this flashlight? I got this lantern. Whatever. I'll put my knife away so you don't see that.
Chris, remember, it has wings, so it could be above you. Right this way. Appetizers first. I mean, ladies first.
Just keep walking. Great.
Whoa. Yeah, so back when I was a kid in high school, obviously, like, it's fun to go out in the middle of the woods and terrify yourself. And it was at the time when the internet, you know, wasn't huge yet, early 2000s. I'm dating myself. But we found out through word of mouth, like, where we thought the path was back into the woods to the Jersey Devil house. And so one night in the summer, we decided to go. There was about 6 of us. And every single one of us had our own flashlight. Within like 2 or 3 minutes, one of the flashlights dies.
Stop.
And it just keeps happening. Like every couple of minutes, we're losing a light. So we lose, you know, the first flashlight, second, third, fourth, we're down to 2 lights. And finally we look around and everybody's like, where did Mike go? We lost one of our friends. He was not with us. And we all started panicking, like freaking out, like yelling his name into the night. And obviously this is a 17-year-old boy. So like within a minute, he jumps out of the woods.
Oh my God.
And freaks us all out. We all start shrieking. But in the midst of this, my flashlight starts dying. And so my light is flickering. No. And again, we're like 20 minutes deep into the woods. If we lose our last flashlight, we will be in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the thorns, and have to make our way back in the pitch black dark in Jersey Devil country.
Nope.
So my light starts to flicker, and suddenly we see it ahead of us. We see the house foundation. Like, we get to the edge of it, and like right when we see it, my light dies.
And I had just put fresh batteries in this flashlight, and now 5 of our 6 flashlights had died.
So we had to give up and go back to the car because, you know, we didn't want to die in the woods. So
That feels kind of supernatural, though, that all of your lights went out.
yeah, it was really uncanny, and we didn't ever go back and try again. So
Really?
yeah,
Why not, Kate?
it obviously freaked us out enough.
You're so much braver than I am. As a teenager, I wouldn't do
I would have done it as a teenager, but teenagers do.
But even I wouldn't do that as a teenager.
Yeah, but people, I think people who grow up right here, it's like creepy second nature to them. I'm just waiting for some man-made figurines, piles of rocks blown on them. This year is mine just lights up really many areas, so you can't see the things but you can't be able to see it from the stand.
Haven't heard anything flapping above us yet.
Did you hear that?
Hear what? What?
I swear I heard something.
Don't even say stuff like that. Why? I'm already freaked out.
No, I keep hearing like twigs snapping near us.
I watch too many movies. There's nothing snapping. Everything's great.
Okay, I'm not making this up. What? I just heard it again.
I'm not gonna walk with you anymore. I'm gonna walk with you.
There's a lot of deer back here, guys. It's probably just a deer in the woods.
No, Liz, those aren't twigs. Those are the sound of the broken bones of the previous victims.
Very funny, Brett.
You know, one of my high school friends actually found out I was working on this video and shared a more recent story with me. He lives nearby, and so he goes out and camps and hunts in the woods, and he said he went out with a couple friends a few years back into the deep, deep woods. Like, they bushwhacked their own trails and created their own camping space. So, like, they were out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Pine Barrens. And they started hearing these like crazy noises out in the woods, like this loud yelping sound, and they could hear something like running around really fast, like circling them, like they thought something was stalking them. He said they even thought they saw something like flying through the trees. So they decided one night they were going to try and figure it out. And their first reaction was like somebody was messing with them out in the woods, but they created the trails, right? This wasn't an established trailhead. So they got kind of freaked out after it happened like multiple nights in a row. So they decided one night they were going to try and figure it out. So they put on black clothes and they walked quietly in 4 opposite directions in the woods to see if they could try and catch whatever it was. And then once they got out into the woods, they could hear the sounds again, but this time they were coming from their campsite, and they all rushed back, and then nothing was there. So they were totally freaked out. They were never able to figure out what it was in the woods. And this is not one of my more superstitious friends. This is an experienced hunter who, said he's never had an experience like this before or again. So yeah, maybe there's something out in those woods. We made it out of the woods and we're approaching the street. So Chris, how was it? What'd you think of the Pine Barrens?
I'm glad we're not in it anymore. I'm happy to be out. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I'm glad I got to go outside my comfort zone. But yeah, that was good enough. It was pretty dark and pretty scary. It's kind of what I expected, and I'm surprised that I didn't do more running.
All right, Liz, and what do you think now? Jersey Devil, fact or fiction?
Hard to say after being deep in the Pine Barrens. I can't tell if it's just the fear I had and my mind playing games on me, but it is easy to believe that something like that could exist in those woods. I guess I'd have to see it to believe it, but I also don't really want to see it, so...
So the craziest fact I learned while researching this episode is that the legend of the New Jersey Devil, formerly the Leeds Devil, may have begun as a political smear campaign.
Remember Daniel Leeds, the patriarch who published New Jersey's first almanac? Well, it turns out the Quakers did not appreciate his use of astrology or metaphysical philosophy, and they set out to discredit him, calling him such things as Satan's harbinger and claiming he worked for the devil himself.
It's quite common, at least from the time of Martin Luther on, that if you disagree with somebody, they just aren't wrong, they're from the devil.
It didn't help that he aligned himself with the despised royal governor, Lord Cornbury, who was accused not only of misusing the colony's taxes, but also of cross-dressing, like his aunt, the Queen of England. The Quakers destroyed Daniel Leeds' published work, but in response to this censorship, Leeds doubled down and continued to publish his almanac and even more writings, including a series of books that satirized the Quakers. And those guys cannot take a joke.
But the story gets much, much weirder.
Daniel's son, Titan Leeds, took over publishing after the death of his father in 1720. In an effort to make the almanac more his own creation, in 1728, Titan redesigned the cover page to display the Leeds family crest, featuring wyverns, creatures that just so happened to look an awful lot like what would later be the description given to the Jersey Devil. Fearsome face, clawed feet, bat-like wings. Sound familiar? Around the same time, a young, ambitious Ben Franklin decided to get into the almanac game with Poor Richard's Almanac. As a reminder, an almanac is basically a reference guide focusing on things like lunar cycles, weather forecasts, and other calculated data, facts, and statistics, in this case useful for colonial times. And as I mentioned, the Leeds Almanac leaned heavily into astrology. So, Ben Franklin, being this scathing satirist he was, predicted his rival, Titan Leeds' death in 1733. When the prediction did not pan out, Leeds proclaimed Franklin a fool and a liar. And Franklin proclaimed, since Titan Leeds most definitely 100% totally did die as predicted, that he was being attacked by Titan's ghost, resurrected from the dead. Franklin then went on to smear the family quite thoroughly until his almanac became the famous one. So, if we look at the dates, the origin story of the Leeds Devil is 1735. That's the same time period that Ben Franklin was conducting his supernatural smear campaign. This likely points the finger at Deborah Leeds, Titan's sister, who did, in fact, have 12 children. So it's possible that she did give birth to a 13th child that was likely born with congenital anomalies and didn't survive infancy. And add to this fact that the Quakers believed her father was evil and that a baby born with birth defects was of the devil, plus Benjamin Franklin throwing all kinds of supernatural shade. And there you have, quite possibly, the birth of a legend.
So the entire myth of the New Jersey Devil may have been started by our founding father, Ben Franklin. That is wild.
Brian Regal writes, far from being a tale of a monstrous birth gone horribly awry, the story comes not from a blaspheming mother, but colonial-era political intrigues, Quaker religious infighting, rumor-mongering, astrology, almanac publishing, a cross-dressing royal governor, and a future founding father.
But like they say in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, if you have the myth and you have the reality, you print the legend, right? You don't print the real story. So.
Well, that's a great line to end with. So what do you think? The Jersey Devil, fact or fiction? Comment below.
In part 2 of my exploration of the Pine Barrens, we'll dive into the ghost stories.
So thanks for reliving my childhood with me. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. I'm the Ghost Tourist, and you stay spooky.
A ghost